Hello, you little smashers. How you doing? Today I'm going to answer... The emissaries have answered 2 questions that came in the comments. One was from Vicky Cook. Hello, Vicky. And one was from Joe Kelly. Hello, Joe, all the way down in Australia. So I'll tell you all about the questions and the answers on the other side. So Vicky asked a question. And she was asking about, she's noticed that people are getting a bit raggy, okay? People are getting a bit raggy these days and getting angry. Raggy is from, well, probably everybody knows raggy, I hope anyway. It means getting angry. And she was saying, why do you think that is? Why? And I mean, it's something I've noticed that people generally are getting a bit upset. Quite easily upset and raging. I'll give you an example. You know when you have somebody who you admire. I admire a lot of people and I admire them for what they've done. And I remember on my hypnosis course many years ago, the teacher who I admire, he wasn't there. He had to do something, and this other person came in called Alan, and he stood in his place, and he was wowzer. He was fantastic. He taught me so much in a day just by showing me what he was able to do. It was incredible, and I admired him tremendously. Notice that I used that in the past tense. I admire what he did still. Anyway, years have passed. God knows how old he is now, because he was quite old then, but I reckon he must be in his 80s. And I still see him on Facebook. When I go to post stuff on Facebook, there he is. And lately, he seems to be suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. And every time I go into Facebook, there's a post of him talking about how bad Trump is. And I'm disappointed. And I'm disappointed because he taught me about hypnosis and about how people are easily influenced and all of that. And yet, there he is. He's fallen into the trap. Am I saying that Mr. Trump is perfection on legs? Not at all. Not at all. However, the thing that this guy is talking about are inconsequential things. Like the other day I had a conversation, everyone was criticising him for his hair. What the actual fuck is going on? Is that the best that they can do? Well, it's just got to be, oh man, it's crazy, the colours and... so what? So what? And that's what this guy is doing. Just criticising him for like weird stuff that has nothing to do with any, that he's actually doing. Or not. Anyway. So I've noticed that people are getting a little bit like extreme in their opinions, out of character. So, based on Vicky's question, I asked the emissaries, I said, so what do you think's going on? Is this really the case? And they said, yes, it is. And it's down to one thing, change. They said that we are in a tremendously intense period of change. And that people, whether they like it or not, are aware that a change is coming. And as we know, people don't like change. They do not like it. Nobody. Me, no, nobody. We don't like change. We like the same all the time. Because change means relearning, it's dramatic, it's painful, etc. And so people are sensing that change is coming. They can feel it. And it's making them very, very upset. In fact, what happens is they're becoming angry because they don't want to change. Why do we have to change? Why? That's what they're saying. What the emissaries were explaining was that especially because Vicky was talking about when she's with certain people, they were really angry. And she's never had that before, by the way. I've worked with Vicky a lot over the last few years. And one thing I would say about Vicky, what stands out about Vicky is that she's really nice. She's a nice person. There isn't anything that she's not controversial. She doesn't make people, get their backs up or anything. She's just a nice person. And so she was shocked that suddenly people were getting angry with her. And the emissaries explained that what's happening is that we've got two groups. We've got three groups. Yeah? We've got us, the people who were going through the awakening process in various levels, awakened. Then we've got the people who are going to awaken, but haven't yet. Okay? They're going to do it, but they just haven't had the trigger that makes them do it. And then we've got the people who are never going to fucking wake up in a million years. I don't know. I'm saying a million years. These timelines are a lot shorter. Maybe in 100 years. They're not going to. And the emissary said that what happens is when we bring our energy, and not only our energy, our way of speaking, which is very New World. Yeah? New World. We're nice. We're nice, and we want to be encouraging and help people and tell them nice things and present ourselves as somebody who's, awakened. It really pisses off the people who aren't. The people who sense that change is coming and that they're going to have to change, but they don't want to. And then you come full of yourself, as we all are, full of yourself, full of goodness and beauty and love, and I'm the Buddha, and it really pisses them off. That's what the emissaries, they didn't say that, they said, and that upsets people because you are making them have to look at change. You're making them have to contemplate change, and they don't like it, and they get angry and they lash out. Don't try and show me how I have to be. Let me just be the way that I've always been, a horrible, rancorous twat. Yeah, I don't want to be a nice person like you. Okay, so that's why. And they said that cognitive dissonance is at its maximum at the moment. People are going, I don't want to be, I can see that what's going to happen, but I don't want to. Okay. And now I don't know, and I didn't ask them whether that was the group of people who are going to wake up but haven't yet, or whether it's a group of people that are never going to wake up in 100 years. I don't know. Maybe both groups. I don't know. But the sense I get it would be the middle group, the ones who on the plan they've got waking up, but they just don't want to, and they're putting it off and putting it off. Who knows? So there you are, Vicky. I hope that answers your question. The best thing is just to hide your light under a bushel. Yeah. Don't be so nice. That's all. They're not ready for it. It makes them angry. They will wake up when they have to wake up. Fortunately, we've already woken up. So that's a relief, isn't it? So the next question is from Joe Kelly. And so, some of you will know who Joe is. Joe did we did some hypnosis things together. She's from Australia. She's also an astrologer, a very accomplished astrologer. So Joe was asking a question about what the emissaries were talking about. You know, when they were saying that all the timelines have merged and all the avatars now have, one of them has been chosen as an option. They said sometimes they're confused together, but typically people choose the best option, the best version of themselves. You remember me saying that? Well, she said, so what about all the rest of the avatars? What's going to happen to them? Where do they go? They're just going to be discarded or whatever? And I thought, that's a good question. I'll ask the emissaries about that. So I asked them, and they said, no, of course they won't be discarded. They said the avatars, the learning that the avatars have had in their timelines is all taken back to the higher self on the other side. And it becomes a fundamental part of the higher self. The truth of the matter is, it's already a part of the higher self. The sense I get is the higher self, there's only one. You're not all split up. You might have a lot of avatars going on, but the higher self is the core, the essence of your energy, your spirit, no matter how many lines or lives you're in. And so if those avatars cease to be working on a timeline, they're already in the higher self. So that's what the emissary said, that no, certainly not. The the learning that they've had is stored in the higher self. And they said, and that learning is also then used to guide the one avatar on that timeline doing its stuff. So there you are. So no, we don't throw them away. Get away, you useless avatars. We keep them. We keep them, and they all join forces like a union, an avatar union going, yeah, you can just imagine them going, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that if I were you, because I did that and it didn't work out well. And I would think that that's probably going to be their best advice, isn't it? I wouldn't do that if I were you. That kind of advice, yeah? However, the question is, do we listen to our higher self? Do we listen? We should, and especially now that we've got loads of extra help. Listen to your intuition. Listen to that little voice that goes, I mean, I'm sure you get lots of voices going, do that, do that, do that. Listen to them as well. But pay special attention to the don't do that. For God's sake, don't do that. And especially when it says, for God's sake, don't do that again. Yeah, and I've had that. I've just recently had the don't do that again. So this time I'm going to listen to it. Okay, so there you are. I hope that helps. If you do have questions, send them to me. It's easier if you send them in an email, because if you put them in messages or on the website, on the Telegram chat, I sometimes miss them. But if you send me an email, then I can add them and answer them. Okay, I don't answer them, the emissaries do. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.